And welcome to Woodrow Wilson High School in Beckley, West Virginia. Tonight, Video Production presents exciting volleyball. It's a battle of the presidents. The Patriots from George Washington, right outside of Charleston, take on the Beckley Flying Eagles. Hello again, everybody. I'm Maris Lowry, joined by Coach B, Morgan Brown, the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing, and the brains of the outfit, Faith Alexander on camera. Well, Morgan, I think we're going to be in for a very exciting match. It's the best of 3 out of 5, and they played at 25, win by 2 the first 4 games. And if we have a decisive 5th and final game, it'll be the 15, win by 2.
Yeah, I think we are definitely in for an interesting matchup. And I know it kind of looks funny on the screen because they're both wearing what seems to be a shade of maroon or burgundy.
Well, you know, you're right. And I was sitting here right before we came on the air, and I was looking, and I was like, yeah, they're both wearing the same colors with the black shorts. And I mentioned it to the head coach of Beckley, Bree Rhodes, and I said, yeah, both you guys look exactly alike. I said, both of you wear maroon. She says, no, we wear maroon, talking about Beckley,
right.
And George Washington wears burgundy. But either or, it's all in the maroon family,
right.
And it all does look alike.
Speaking of Bree Rhodes, I'm excited to see her back.
Yes, you know, when the last game we did was almost a month ago, actually a little more than a month ago,
yep.
August the 22nd, we did that tri-match with Shady, Morgantown, and Beckley, and she couldn't make it because she went into delivery that day, and
yep.
she had her second child.
Mm-hmm. She seems to be doing great, seems to be out back and coaching and getting ready to hopefully take this win for Beckley tonight.
Yeah, and you know, what's interesting is I've talked to Missy Smith, the head coach of George Washington, and we've talked about Bree Rhodes, the head coach of Beckley, and I asked both of them, what is your record? And of course, you know, you go by matches. You have games within matches,
right.
But you count your wins and losses by how many matches you win. Mm-hmm. And both of them said, I don't know our record. The only thing that matters is the next one, and that's tonight.
And they're
so
not
we'll
wrong.
go with that. Right, they're not
wrong.
And you being a coach, and
yeah.
that's why they call you Coach B, and you
yeah.
play volleyball. That's, even though it sounds like maybe coaches speak, it really isn't.
Yeah, I mean, no, I absolutely agree with them that the game that matters right now in this very moment to them is this game tonight, this matchup. And honestly, like, I think we have 2 very good teams here tonight. I think that this has a lot to do with where they might possibly end up state tournament-wise as well.
That's right. They both are in the same region, and they both could qualify for the state tournament. And, you know, they may play another time on down the road. I don't have their schedules in front of me, but there's a good chance that they could play in regional competition.
Right, yep. So it looks like George Washington is now getting ready to
George Washington coming out. We may have a playing of the national anthem. We're not sure. They've put like 6 minutes on the clock, and they may run that down and then be ready to play. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll get you ready for the opening serve coming up at the top of the hour between Beckley and George Washington, streaming here on Video Productions.
Dutch Miller's Beckley Auto Mall, West Virginia's largest GMC Buick dealer, is a proud sponsor of West Virginia High School athletics and our area student athletes. Dutch Miller's Beckley Auto Mall, with 2 locations for your convenience: 3934 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley and 8762 Seneca Trail in Fairleigh. Plus, you can shop 24/7 at BeckleyAutomall.com. Dutch Miller's Beckley Auto Mall and West Virginia's student athletes. A winning combination. GMC, we are professional grade.
Welcome, folks, to the most mouth-watering showdown on television, the Hangry Games Ultimate Snack-Off, right here at your local Little General store. As the snacks fly and the deli slices, remember, dear viewers, every item they're using can be found at your nearest Little General store, where creativity meets convenience. Keep your appetites brave and your snacks ready.
We won't raise your rates just because of an accident. Sure, everyone thinks they're a good driver. But when an accident happens, with Allstate, you don't have to worry, even if it's your fault. It's called accident forgiveness, and it starts the day you sign up. You're in good hands with Allstate.
City National Bank, where you can purchase or refinance your home with the no down payment Champion Mortgage. No down payment, no private mortgage insurance, no kidding. Visit your local branch to get started today. City National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. To learn more, log on to mortgage.bankatcity.com.
Take care of this by the end of the day.
Sure, I'll take care of that. Done. It's that easy with compliance. Compliance, we've got your back office.
If you need a lawyer, then you need a lawyer who's in it to win it. You need Hill, Peterson, Carper, B. and Ditzler. We have a track record of winning millions for our clients. At Hill, Peterson, Carper, B. and Ditzler, we're in it to win it.
Every bite better with Pepsi.
How much is that doggy in the window?
Let the sunshine in. Get started today with new windows and doors from Window World of Beckley. What better way to do that than our energy-efficient windows and doors for every budget and style? We offer superior products, professionally installed at a guaranteed low price. We offer great financing options too. So why wait? Transfer your home today with Window World of Beckley and let the sun shine in.
And we welcome you back to Beckley Woodrow Wilson High School. I'm Maris Lowry with Morgan Brown, the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing, Faith Alexander, the brains of the outfit on camera. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Michael Frobel. Michael Frobel for judge. Michael Frobel is a candidate for the circuit judge of the second division in a runoff when they have the election on November the 5th. Michael is proud to support student athletes in Raleigh County and would be proud to serve as your judge. Also, the game tonight being brought to you in part by Edward Jones. Heather Cantley, your financial advisor. You worked hard for your money, so now let your money work hard for you. You can dial up Heather Cantley at 681-254-0097. Well, Morgan, we're about a minute and a half away from getting this game started, and I think we're going to have a really good match. I say game, I know they're called matches, and they play the best 3 out of 5. That's from the basketball and the football in me.
Right.
So I got to get in volleyball mode tonight.
That's right.
But I think we're going to be in for a very interesting match. And, you know, since I've started playing pickleball, and you and I play pickleball, we played together and against one another.
Yep.
What I found out in playing pickleball, and I think that people would agree, that if you get off to that good start, that early lead, sometimes I think that obviously that helps because you can hang on to the lead, and I think that's so important because you don't want to get, 6, 7, 8 points behind.
Right, exactly. I think that if one of these teams can just hang on to that lead and kind of stay there and just get it point by point, play by play, just like pickleball, I think the other team might, need to kind of not get in their head so much, like that's easy to do with volleyball and pickleball, not get in your head and, just try to win it point by point, play by play.
Of course, the scoring difference between pickleball and, of course, volleyball, you can't score in pickleball unless you serve. Here in volleyball, it doesn't matter. You can score without serving.
Right, exactly. And also, like we discovered last game, that there were a lot of similarities between volleyball and pickleball, but that is definitely not one of them. Volleyball, you can score even if your team is not the one that is serving.
Right. So both teams going through their final warm-ups. And, we're not that far away from tournament play as we come upon the calendar getting ready to turn from September to October. It's hard to believe we're officially in fall now.
Yep.
And the postseason will be in October, and then the state tournament is right around in November. And both of these teams have high expectations in their respective class that they can be at the state tournament.
Yep. I think that we are definitely going to see these teams again, whether that be, against each other or against other teams in the state tournament for sure.
Yeah, as you're watching and streaming, as we said, both teams are dressed exactly alike. And you would think that one team would maybe wear white, or you wouldn't want both teams in dark, but not only are both teams, whether you call it maroon or burgundy, they each got black shorts on, maroon tops on, and the only difference is basically where it says Beckley on of course, Beckley, and either and Patriots for George Washington.
Right. Yep.
So they're lined up. We were told they're not going to have a national anthem, but the girls of Beckley are lined up as if we are. And let's wait and see. Maybe we were told that we were not going to have one. And I guess, no, we're not. We're ready to play. And Morgan, maybe you can kind of explain this. I guess this is the volleyball ritual, what they're doing now.
Yep, just basically wishing each team good luck and then going back to their coaches and their benches to kind of get that final pep rally, that final talk with the team and the coaches, try to get them pumped up and ready to win this game.
Yeah, I like that. You wish your opponent good luck before the game, and all the time you're thinking, really want to beat your brains out, right?
I want to be the one that's coming out on top wearing maroon or burgundy or whatever color
color it might be. So we're ready to go with the first serve. Two excellent teams, Beckley and George Washington. You know, that's one thing over the years in boys and girls basketball. They've battled in football, and now, you know, battling here on the volleyball court as we're ready for the first serve. So each team, like you said, getting their final instructions. Missy Smith, the head coach for George Washington. Bree Rhodes, the head coach of Beckley. And we're just moments away from getting this one underway. Game one within the match. And it's the best 3 out of 5. And we go to 25. And you have to win by 2. And Beckley will have the first serve with Abby Dillon.
I loved watching Miss Abby Dillon play last game. She did a phenomenal job.
So we are underway.
What she does tonight.
Sit back and enjoy some high school volleyball here on Video Productions. And we've got the first point of the game, and it'll go to Beckley.
Had a net violation on George Washington.
So Beckley able to strike first, and they take a 1-0 lead. That was a nice job for George Washington to keep that in play. Looked like it was going to go out of bounds. And that one's just a little too strong, and it does go out of bounds, and George Washington picks up the point. As we watch the replay there.
George Washington, number 12, Ava Katz, up to serve.
And here comes the serve from Katz.
Good serve.
Yes, it is. And this time, just perfect. Just hit that back line without it going out of bounds, and Beckley will get the point.
Here's the replay. Hit it where they ain't.
That's right. That's what they say in baseball. That's a Yogiism.
Yep.
Yogi Berra. Hit it where they ain't. Good job by both teams. Back and forth we go. This point will go to Beckley. George Washington not able to get the ball across the net. Both teams very athletic and very active around the net.
Yep. They both communicate very well. I've noticed that.
Yeah, and that's something you really have to do.
Especially in volleyball.
So Jeffrey with the serve for Beckley.
Good tip by Beckley.
Abby Dillon with a nice set. And nice job.
Wow.
What a big-time play by Harris.
Good kill.
Yeah, Harris, a tremendous player. Got a nice setup by Abby Dillon, and Harris able to throw it down for the Beckley
Harris
point.
was even able to get the block almost on that.
Yep, nice job. So it'll be Skylar Jeffrey, the senior, as she serves.
Trying to throw George Washington off with that push.
Yeah.
Another push. With a block.
Yes. Beckley being really big with Coleman at the front of the net.
Beckley's very aggressive on that net, and George Washington is feeling the heat.
So Jeffrey will serve again for Beckley. This is game one of the best 3 out of 5 in the match.
Good recovery by Beckley.
Yeah, that was a great job that time by Harris. And George Washington will get the point.
These have all been really good rallies.
Yes.
It hasn't been just like, one hit and then the ball hits on the floor. Nope, it's been going back and forth this entire time.
Yeah, I guess rallies and do they call it volleys as well?
Rallies, yeah.
Rallies?
Yeah, volleys, yep.
Yeah. And
out of bounds.
Yeah, good job by Jeffrey there to to decide whether she was going to play that, and like I said, the good judgment to let that go out of bounds and give Beckley the point. And, that's the one thing, and one thing I've learned, too, from just playing pickleball is not to beat yourself. Make sure you get the serve in.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it in.
Yep.
Because, it's tough enough anyway, so you really got to get it in play.
Right. Doesn't have to be that hard of a serve. It just has to be accurate. Good setup by Beckley with the slam down, number 12, Coleman.
Yeah, and
the senior.
You're right. Morgan, I noticed this in the last game we did Beckley about a month ago. They really attack the front of the net. They're really good at the net.
Yep, and that's intimidating for the other team. Wow.
That counts. That's a let, and it hits the front of the net and falls in.
There's no kitchen in volleyball.
No.
Harris again with the serve.
Now it hit the top, but that's
that's Beckley's point because it came down on their exact same side, and now a timeout.
As Beckley's now around all 4 straight points. While we got a minute, I want to tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance. State Farm agent Scotty Brown in Shady Spring. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You can reach out to Scotty Brown at 681-238-6130. Also, the game tonight brought to you in part by Exit Elevation, Realty, Luke Richmond, the broker, 304-256-0101. You can reach out to them at wvexitelevation.com. So good timeout for George Washington. Out of the timeout, Beckley leads 9-2. Beckley got off to a good start. Morgan, we talked about how important that was. Beckley led 5-1. Then it was 5-2. Beckley scored the last 4.
Yep, they're definitely on a roll, and I think George Washington can kind of feel that. I think that's maybe why they called the timeout, maybe to get Beckley off of that high horse a little bit and try to get in their heads, maybe reiterate the game plan, maybe fix a few things. Let's see what they can do here with number 14. That's Harris for Beckley, getting ready to serve it up.
It's a good serve. George Washington does a good job.
Little offset of the – oh!
Yes. Nice
little
play.
Off on the set, but it worked out for them.
Arbogast with a nice play for George Washington.
It rolled right across the top of the net, right where they couldn't quite reach it.
And if you're Beckley, don't you hate that? If you're into the defender, that's like in pickleball when somebody just hits it and hits the top of the net. It is very frustrating.
Good serve by number 21.
Yeah,
that
Monday.
Sarah Monday.
Monday playing on a Tuesday. And the point will go to GW. So after Beckley had scored 4 in a row, George Washington's come back with the last 2. And it's going to be George Washington's point. Once again, that's a good job that time by Arbogast to know not to play it and let the ball go out of bounds.
Great serve.
Set up by Abby Dillon of Beckley. Good job by Reagan Rist. Jeffrey gets it over the net.
Wow, good recovery by George Washington. Let's see if Beckley can set something up.
Boy, you can see how this is being played at a high level.
Yes. Oh, wow.
George Washington very big at the net.
They fought for that point.
Bray that time steps up big for George Washington. So after Beckley scored 4 in a row, Morgan now GW has scored 4 in a row. Good save by Jeffrey. And Abby Dillon able to get it over.
Good try by Abby Dillon. Wow, the block by Hassan.
Wow. Yes.
And Coleman with the kill.
Yes. There's 2 Hassans for Beckley. We got one. We have one Hassan.
Dahlia
Hassan, and Anna Hassan.
Anya. Yeah.
Anya, I beg your pardon.
Beckley got the point off that.
So Beckley will serve it.
Ooh, tipped by number 44, Skylar Jeffrey, the senior.
Yeah, that went right off of her hands.
It was going out. I think she kind of regretted going for it.
Yeah, she patted herself. She had her bad. She realized that, and that's kind of like, when I played pickleball, the instinct, the ball's there, it's out of bounds, but you hit it anyway, right?
Happens way too many times.
It will. It's just like I said, the ball's right there in striking distance, and you do just what comes natural. Beckley able to get the point.
Number 9, Kendra Bailey checking in for Beckley.
Yep. Kendra Bailey, freshman. Yep. Also another freshman, Molly Smith, will enter the Beckley lineup.
We talked about this last game, being a freshman, playing for such a volleyball program that is Beckley. That's awesome.
Right, and I say this all the time, in any sport, with so much play, whether it's travel ball, volleyball, basketball, whatever it is, you play so much that whatever grade you're in really doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, miscommunication by George Washington.
And I think you agree more. The bottom line is, can you play or not? It doesn't matter what grade you're in. If you can play, you can play. And kids today, no matter what sport it is, like I said, they play. There's so many camps and so much travel ball that they're so much more advanced now than they ever was back in my day. Because my day was like 100 years ago.
Good up by Woodrow. Oh, they called it a lift.
Yeah, so George Washington will get the point.
We'll go to George Washington.
See, Morgan, back in my day, that was in the 70s when I played.
What?
Yes, huh?
Not the 70s.
Back in the 70s.
Did you have the hair?
Back in the 70s, yes.
Crazy hair?
No, I had a lot of hair back then.
Oh, did you?
Because I don't have any now.
What happened?
I got old. Older, how about that?
Oh, the tip from Beckley. Couldn't quite get it there.
Nice job by Beckley to get the point by Hassan.
She has an amazing approach. Hassan knows exactly where she wants to be on top of the ball, and she executes it perfectly. And she's such a hard hitter, especially to hit it hard but with accuracy is something that really, really skilled player can do.
Right, to hit it hard and keep it from not going out of bounds.
Yep.
Great job by Gable for George Washington. And once again, Beckley, Harris strong at the net.
See the replay here. What a kill.
This equals the largest lead of the game at 7. Beckley led earlier 9-2, and now they score again.
That is 2 in a row for Harris. Hitting it where they ain't.
Right. So this is the biggest lead of the game here. London Baker with the serve for Beckley. Nice job by Carpenter for George Washington.
Oh, that is Beckley's point.
Yes.
It hit the ceiling right above the net here. And you can see on the replay. If it comes down on Beckley's side and George Washington was the one that hit it on the ceiling,
it's the Beckley point.
Then it's Beckley's point. Vice versa as well.
Right. That ball is out of bounds. George Washington will get the point there, I do believe.
We've got a sub for George Washington, number 17, Tomlin coming in.
I'm not sure if they called that. I thought they called that a George Washington point. And if that's the case, it should be 18-10. I beg your pardon, 18-8. Now 18-9. That is correct.
Wow.
Nice job by Bailey.
Great hit. Great hit by George Washington.
So 9's been the biggest lead for Beckley. The lead's 8 right now as we watch the replay.
That was called out of bounds by George Washington. Now it'll be Beckley's serve. Number 16 coming in for Beckley, wrist.
Yes.
The sophomore. And number 17 is Abby Dillon, the senior, to serve it.
Here's the serve by Abby Dillon.
Tough play by George Washington. That ball was really close to that net going out of bounds. But
and once
Beckley,
again, yeah, Harris so strong at the net. So Beckley's doubled them up. This is game 1 in this match of the best 3 out of 5. Go to 25, got to win by 2. And we got a net violation, and the point will go to George Washington. So, Morgan, going to 25, and Beckley's got 20, and George Washington, they're going to have to make a run if they're going to try to come from behind and pull this first game of this match out.
Yeah, they're going to have to score some points here to,
we'll have to try to
stay in the game.
Yeah, 4 or 5 in a row here. And now that's their second point in a row. Or no, this point's going to go to Beckley.
Oh, George Washington's wanting the tip to be called.
And now there's a discussion, and it's going to go to George. That's what that's why I originally called it that way. Yeah, that's why I said that, and I thought that was the right call that George Washington should have, and that's good communication from the officials. And George Washington is rewarded with the point. Bailey with a good job. And Risk gets it over, and it's going to be out of bounds. The point will go to George Washington. That time the official just pointed the wrong way.
Yeah. Beckley now wanting a timeout. Calm down, ladies.
Well, and that's what you have to do, right? You have the lead.
Yep.
You've given up 2 or 3 in a row, and, you got to settle them in. Tonight's broadcast is also brought to you in part by Leisure Lanes, Johnstown Road in Beckley, every Friday and Saturday night. They have futuristic bowling from 10 o'clock till midnight. The music, the glowing lanes, light show, fog, door prizes, only $15 a person. And you can give them a call, make your reservations at 304-253-7328. Also, tonight's game brought to you in part by Infinity Coal. If you want to work close to home, you can come and join the team at Infinity Coal Company located in Sophia, West Virginia. You can check them out on the Facebook page at UnitedCoalCompany.com. All right, out of the timeout, 7-point Beckley advantage. They have led by as many as 10.
George Washington is getting ready to serve. They're being served with Ava Katz.
Still it's kind of confusing that both teams are dressed alike.
Yeah.
Exactly alike. And the thing about it is, Morgan, neither team has black as Beckley able to score the point. Neither team has black in their school colors.
Right.
George Washington is maroon or burgundy, whatever you want to call it, with gray.
Yep.
And Beckley has always been maroon and white.
Right.
But actually, I can even tell you something that a lot of people that currently now here at Beckley probably doesn't know. Back in the 70s.
The 70s.
Actually, and I remember the 70s where I remember it well. Beckley was actually maroon and silver.
Oh, wow.
Before they changed to maroon and white. Well, yeah, because you haven't been around as long as I have.
Right.
And now Beckley will get the point on that.
That was a good line drive by Beckley.
Here's Jeffrey with the serve. One thing I noticed, too, the last game that we did at Beckley, Jeffrey is very good on that back line. And that ball will land in, and that will be a point for George Washington.
That was a good push by George Washington. Sometimes, you want to throw them off. You might want to push the ball to the corner. Where they're, over time when you play as a team, you kind of start scooting up as a team. And then sometimes that push to the back corner can be detrimental to you.
Like they did that time, get it right over their head. Nice play once again for Beckley. What a great job, Harris, at the net. In fact, I think it was last week where Harris was named the Registered Herald Player of the Week, and she's been an outstanding player.
Yep, well deserving of that title for sure.
Yeah, her dad, Brad, was an outstanding basketball player back in the 90s.
Wow, good recovery for George Washington.
Yep. Abby Dillon with a nice setup. And wrist throws it down, and it's out of bounds over to George Washington with the point. if you're Beckley, you know, you're up 23-15, go to 25, win by 2. Just got to settle down. And like we talked about on top, Morgan, I think what really helped Beckley, they got off to a good start, off to a 5-1 lead, then a 9-2 lead, and they've really never looked back.
They have stayed consistently on top this entire game.
Yeah, they scored the first point. The game was tied at 1. GW has never led. And Beckley now with game point.
Number 23, Dahlia Hassan, to serve it and hopefully get that game-winning point for Beckley. No, served into the net.
And that's frustrating, too, when you put it into the net.
It's just something that you should be able to do so easily, and then sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
The ball don't always go where you want it to, does it?
No. Number 8, Johns, to serve for the Patriots. Oh, number 12, Coleman, just couldn't quite get it over that net to dink it over.
Yeah, couldn't get enough lift to get the ball over the net.
And sometimes that's hard, like as a team, if your back row gets the ball and passes it right close to that net, it could go one way or the other. Kind of want it to get it perfect to your setter in order for them to set it up for your hitter to hit it.
George Washington trying to make the final rally here.
24-18.
You got to win by 2. You got to go to 25. And right now, George Washington not going away quietly. This is the first game within the match of the best 3 of 5. It's a nice job by Arbogast for George Washington. And what do they call? The point goes to Beckley, and that'll win the game.
George Washington does not like that call.
I couldn't see. Maybe we get a replay on this, and we'll see whether the ball is in or not. That's one thing. The video does not lie.
Oh, they didn't like the call that they had tipped it, but the replay does show that George Washington did tip it out of bounds.
Yes.
So that is the game.
So Beckley wins
Beckley.
game 1, and they win the first game of the match 25-18. We'll take a break, come back, and get you ready for game 2 within the match coming up next here on Video Productions.
Every bite better with Pepsi.
If you need a lawyer, then you need a lawyer who's in it to win it. You need Hill, Peterson, Carper, B. & Ditzler. We have a track record of winning millions for our clients. At Hill, Peterson, Carper, B. & Ditzler, we're in it to win it.
When you're in need of a plumber, you want someone that's going to treat you like family. Modley's Plumbing and Heating, a family-owned business since 1987, wants you to know our customers and employees are as important as family. Built by family to families, quality work is our hallmark at Modley's Plumbing and Heating. So the next time you're in need of a plumber, give Modley's Plumbing and Heating a call at 304-253-HELP. Help to Modley's means handling every little problem.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel, the old country store. Love me some Cracker Barrel. And from time to time, they do take care of our pregame meals on football Fridays, and we appreciate Cracker Barrel with the old country store locations in Princeton and Beckley. Also, tonight's game is brought to you in part by Michael Frobel. Michael Frobel is running for a circuit judge in the 2nd division. Michael is proud to support student athletes in Raleigh County who would be proud to serve you as circuit judge. He's in a runoff on Election Day on November the 5th. Also, tonight's game brought to you in part by State Farm. State Farm, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Scotty Brown, your agent in Shady Spring. And you can dial him up at 681-238-6130. So this is game 2 coming up, Morgan. Beckley wins game 1 of the match by the score of 25-18. Outside of George Washington getting off to a better start, what would you think George Washington's got to do differently here in game 2?
I just think they have too many holes that Beckley's hitting.
So tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, tighten up a little bit. Spread out that defense a little bit. And I think with their offense, I think they're hitting the ball fine. I think it's just in order for them to be able to get that good hit off the net, I think that they need to just be able to be in those spots that Beckley's hitting the ball, so that way that their back row can set up the setter to set up the the good hit.
Yeah, Beckley led in that first game, led coast to coast. And like I said, we talked about you got to get off to a good start. The game was tied at 1, but GW never led. And Beckley opened up a 9-2 lead. They really got on them early. And then when you get behind, you got to really dig out of that hole. And it's really hard to do that.
And they weren't going away quietly, like you said. I mean, they were really trying to fight back. So maybe the second game might be a little bit more of a closer matchup. Maybe George Washington fixed some of those little tiny errors, mistakes that they made in the first game. And hopefully we'll see a little bit better of a game this
because, the little things make the big things, and I think that's it. You just got to get off to a better start, have a little bit more urgency as we get ready to start Game 2 of this match. It is the best 3 of 5. Beckley won the first game, as we mentioned, 25-18, up 1-0. And we are ready now. And this is so important because if you go down 2 games to none, it's really hard to win, especially over anybody, especially a really good team to win 3 straight games.
For sure. Libero's checking in now for both teams.
So we are just about ready to go. And the thing about it is, I like it. It's only like a couple minutes break, and then boom, we're right back at it.
Ain't no halftime in volleyball.
No. So it'll be serve time, and the first serve will be George Washington. Head coach Missy Smith of George Washington, Bree Rhodes of Beckley, and we're underway for game number 2 of this best 3 out of 5 match. The Battle of the Presidents.
Oh, Beckley got lost, number 20.
Good job at the net for George Washington. Smalley Smith there kind of got turned around there a little bit.
She said, where'd it go?
So George Washington has their first lead of the game, and the first lead of the match. And Beckley right back at you.
Seems like both teams had that happen to them. The ball gets loose up at the net. They kind of lose track of where it's at. It's so hard as a front hitter and blocker. You kind of get lost in where you're at up front, especially because you're trying to do so many things at the same time. Trying to block, trying to hit, trying to recover.
And Beckley will get the point. I tell you, when in doubt, just have Harris go up and throw it down, right?
I mean, they really like to set it to her, and I understand why.
Yeah, if you're ever struggling, that's not a bad person to be able to tip the ball to, for have her to get it over the net.
For sure.
Abby Dillon kind of...
Wow, great recovery.
Yeah.
Good communication, good teamwork.
Kind of maybe stubbed her finger there as she hit that last one. Good hustle.
Good hustle by the freshman.
Wrist gets it over.
Great hit by 21 from George Washington.
Yeah, that's Monday. Monday playing good on Tuesday.
Again Monday.
Yep. Nice job that time by London Baker. Back
Monday
and forth they go.
With the tip.
Oh, great play by George Washington.
George Washington benches on their feet. Excited about that play.
I don't know if you remember the song Monday, Monday, the Mamas and the Papas
Was
back
that
in the
from
60s.
The 70s?
No,
Oh,
the 60s. I lived in that decade too, Morgan.
Shoo.
I've been around. Yeah, the Mamas and the Papas, Monday, Monday. That was a smash hit back in the day.
See, and that's why I've never heard of it. It's because it's...
Well, you need to Google that, right?
I will. Oh,
yeah.
no.
George Washington
Beckley.
gets the point, yeah.
I remember seeing Beckley practicing that play, practicing that little switch up during their warm-up, and it just did not go as planned for them just now. George Washington's getting a little bit excited here.
And they're back in front. Once again, great play at the net by Harris. As Jeffrey will check back in to the Beckley scheme of things.
Number 44, Skylar Jeffrey, to serve for Beckley.
Yeah, she does a really good job. Very solid for the Beckley team. Good job at the net by Beckley. Abby Dillon able to get it over. Nice job. What a play that was by London Baker. Baker saved the day that time. Baker was the point maker on that play. Look at that nice layout. Great hustle.
Number 23 for the Patriots really wanted to get the slam down on that middle hit. Just didn't happen for her. A little miscommunication from Beckley. But Harris.
Yep, Beckley able to recover. George Washington able to recover and get the ball back over the net.
Monday.
Yes.
Playing good on a Tuesday.
Yes. And we're all leaving at 4. Here's George Washington with the serve. And that'll be Arbogast. Good hustle by George Washington's Tomlin. And nice play once again by Harris at the net. And then you're really talking about hit it where they ain't. That was. There was nobody there, and a nice play by Harris and Beckley with the point.
Like I had mentioned last game, a lot of times as volleyball, games go on, the teams kind of get pushed up closer to the net. Those back corners are always more than open.
Yeah, and that's one that I'm sure Tomlin wished she had back. She's just not able to handle the serve.
Harris with a great serve, which results in a point for Beckley. Here she is to serve again.
Jeffrey with a nice setup. That one hit up into the lights, but it was on Beckley's side, so it is playable.
George Washington wanted the 4 hits called. They didn't think that Beckley tipped it. Let's see who gets this point here.
Yeah, this has been a good volley, good hustle by both teams.
Great recovery by George Washington. Monday!
Yes, what a job. That was at a high level, volleying back and forth for both teams, and George Washington able to get the point there.
There's those holes I was talking about earlier.
Yep. Hey, you got to find them. That's going to be tough for Beckley to recover, and they do. Baker with a nice hustle, and Abby Dillon able to get it over.
Abby Dillon is just a player that makes plays. But I'll tell you what, 23, pray for George Washington, just smacked down that ball.
And
killed it.
We're even at 6. We got a touchdown each, right?
Here's the replay. Wow, she got right on top with the slam down. Good up by Beckley. Block by George Washington. Beckley to set it up again.
Well, that ball's got a lot of smoke on it coming across the net. Here's Riss.
Wow!
And Beckley gets the point. Reagan Riss throws it down.
She was excited about that hit.
And rightfully so. Yep, threw that down with authority.
23, Dahlia Hassan.
Beckley serve. And George Washington able to get it over the net. Both teams playing well that time at the front of the net.
Good push by Beckley. Wow, great hustle by both teams. Blocked by George Washington. Let's see if Beckley can recover.
Nice play by Jeffrey.
Wow!
Wow, that was an exciting.
What a kill!
Yes.
Number 10, Anya Hassan, the junior. Her approach is just so beautiful. Little miscommunication results in a point for Beckley.
Well, Beckley's opened up a little breathing room here with a 3-point lead.
I think once Hassan gets her approach so set to where she knows exactly where her footing is and where her hits where she wants her hits to be, I think her and Harris have the same, strategy of where they want the ball to go every single time, who they want it to go to.
And, you know, it's one thing to want it to go there. It's another thing to be able to put it where you want it to go.
And as fast as they're hitting it.
Yeah.
Definitely two of Beckley's strongest hitters.
Good job by both teams. And the point will go to George Washington. So this has been a battle back and forth. The first game in this best 3 out of 5 match was really Beckley. They were tied at 1, and Beckley really had control of that first game, but George Washington has come back strong here in the second one.
Blocked by Beckley, but the ball went out of bounds, so that results in George Washington's point.
And George Washington has cut the lead to 1. Beckley gets the point on that one.
That ball was passed just a little too tight for Abby Dillon, so she decided to dink it right over where the Patriots were not. Number 9, Kendra Bailey coming in as the freshman for Beckley, and number 20, Molly Smith, also a freshman.
Yeah, Beckley making some changes there. Smith.
Good hit by the freshman and a block by the freshman,
yes.
Molly Smith.
You know, Molly Smith had a nice hit prior to that little tip, and she was rewarded as we watched the replay.
Oh, that was my favorite moment as a player. The ball getting right above the net.
That's not like
you're just able to just
down. That's almost like a slam dunk in basketball, isn't it?
Wow, great hit.
Yeah, and George Washington.
Good block.
At the net, yes. Good job by Bailey. And that's a little too strong, and George Washington will get the point.
The Hassan sisters. They are sisters, correct?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So Gable will serve for George Washington into the net. Beckley will get the point.
Harris checks back in for Beckley.
You know, we've got one more volleyball match that we will do, Morgan, prior to the tournament play, as we'll get into that here in just a minute.
Molly Smith.
Yeah, with authority.
Great return by the libero for George Washington.
Smith very good at the front of the net.
Here's Harris. Out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
She's got a good idea of where she wants to put the ball, but sometimes you hit the ball a little bit too powerful.
Yeah.
You got the right idea, just can't execute it.
Yeah, trying to get it down. Sometimes when you hit it too hard, the ball can kind of sail on you, and trying to get it down in play. But we'll have Beckley again, Beckley in South Charleston before postseason starts. And, of course, we'll cover the postseason here on Video Productions.
Monday again. Good up by the freshman.
And GW unable to handle that.
Dahlia Hassan from the back row.
And Beckley maintains the 3-point advantage. Assistant coach Lauren Dillon up. Of course, you know, the head coach we talked about, Bree Rhodes, just coming off having her second child a little more than a month ago.
Yep.
And she's been very calm sitting on the in the bench in front of us.
I don't think I could be that calm.
Well, maybe if you just had a baby a month earlier, you might be. I don't know.
Right.
As George Washington gets the point there. You know, and you had mentioned this earlier, and I'm with you. It's amazing that she had a baby a month ago, and she's even here right now.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I was like, is that Bree?
Yeah. So that point goes to Beckley. I beg your pardon.
It was Beckley's point. George Washington hit it into the net.
See, I wasn't paying attention.
You were lost in the 70s.
Yeah, maybe the 60s.
The 60s.
Well, I'll tell you what, 70 sometimes isn't a bad place to be when of all things going on now in the world, as Beckley is up 5.
Hey, I always said I was born in the wrong time.
Yeah, you would have been great in the 70s.
The hair especially.
Well, knowing that, getting to know you better as I've gotten to here over the last 6-8 months, I think you would have been fine in the 70s. And the point will go to Beckley.
I'm surprised they didn't call a lift on that sooner. George Washington, there's a certain way that you can't hit the ball. You can't hit the ball with one hand and it kind of catch it and then throw it up. That's called a lift.
Right.
And it looked like George Washington had just did that, but they called 4 hits, so that results in Beckley ball.
So the score is 16-10, and we have 15-10 on the screen, but there we go. We adjust it, and now they do. I also want to tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Leisure Lanes, Johnstown Road and Beckley. Make Leisure Lanes a place that you can hang out with the family, especially, on Friday or Saturday night.
It's so fun.
It is fun. Futuristic bowling with the music, the glowing lanes, the light show fog. I used to do the Rockin' New Year's Eve over there. It's great for reservations. You can dial them up, 304-253-7328. Also, tonight's game brought to you in part by Exit Renovation Realty. And you can dial them up as Luke Richmond is the broker at 304-256-0101. All right, out of the timeout. Beckley serves it. Here's George Washington. That's a little strong, and that'll be out of bounds, and the point will go over to Beckley. So now Morgan Beckley's opened up a little bit of a cushion here. They were going back and forth. What was tight there at 9-8. Beckley on a nice little run here to open up a 17-10 lead.
Kind of at that same cushion they were last game, but George Washington did not go away quietly, so let's see if they try to do that again, maybe with a little bit different of an outcome. Doesn't look like it, though. Beckley 18-10. Harris with the kill.
Yeah, Beckley has scored 6 in a row. They led 12-10, now the lead up to 18-10. And this is kind of a danger zone for George Washington.
Deja vu.
Yep, you play to 25, win by 2.
Harris again with the kill.
And basically the same result again.
Right. I mean, do we really expect it not to happen?
Yeah, really.
I mean, every time this girl jumps, like every time she gets the ball in her hands, it's coming down.
Yeah, when you see her going to the front of the net, just get out of the way, right?
Yeah. Like you can try and block it, but good tip.
Yeah, Molly Smith is
Washington.
and good also return. Molly Smith and Beckley's played really well, and they're going to get I thought for a minute that they might get Harris into net, but no, the point goes to Beckley, and now they've doubled them up. So Beckley's ran off 8 in a row as Abby Dillon serves.
She has such a consistent serve. She's just one of those players that makes plays.
Yeah, she's a real leader. Once again, Harris doing what she does.
Hitting the spot where they ain't. There's just so many open spaces on George Washington's court. If you notice, like Beckley consistently moves to where they need to go. They're anticipating the play before it even happens. George Washington, every time I've seen them, kind of try to anticipate it, I feel like they're playing catch up.
Yeah.
And I think that's some things that they might need to work on for the next game and for this game to go to 5 instead of to 3.
Right. But they were able to stop the bleeding momentarily and able to get that last point. Bailey not able to handle that. And the point to George Washington. So they're able to put back-to-back points together.
Number 12 has also been a consistent server for George Washington, Ava Katz.
Yeah, with the left hand. Wrist gets it over.
George Washington with a little bit of a tip. Monday, out of bounds. Oh,
yes, no. Monday able to score big on Tuesday.
No, I'm sorry. The ref said my fault. That is Beckley's point. It was considered out of bounds.
You were on it, and the referee pointed the wrong way.
So that is Beckley's point. Monday hit it out of bounds on a Tuesday.
Yes, and you were all over that. So Beckley with a 10-point advantage, their biggest lead of the contest. Jeffrey gets it over.
There it is. Wow.
And
out of bounds.
That is out of bounds, the point to Beckley. So, Morgan, this was a relatively close game at 9-8, and Beckley has really just opened it up. Outscored them 16-4. And I think the point you made is so right. Seems like Beckley is ready and figuring out like where the ball's going to be hit. While George Washington, they've left some openings there as that time Riss not able to get the ball across the net, and the point to George Washington.
I think George Washington would be a lot closer to Beckley in scoring if they were anticipating the plays like Beckley. I think this would be a much closer matchup, and maybe that's some things that they can work on a little bit now and later on in the season, but I definitely think they are potential for state tournament.
Beckley able to score.
Alexis Coleman with the line drive.
And we're down to game point again.
She seemed relieved that one went over. She wasn't sure about it.
So Beckley on the verge of going up 2-0 within the match.
None other than Harris to serve.
And, Morgan, that will really put a lot of pressure on George Washington. Have to beat him 3 straight times as that's out, and Beckley will win the game. So your final score is Beckley 25, and 13 for George Washington. So a 25-18 win in game 1. And this game looked tighter, and then Beckley wins by more as they pull away, and they win it 25-13, and they take a 2-0 lead within the match. We'll take a break, catch our breath, and get ready for game 3 coming up next here on Video Productions.
How much is that doggy in the window?
Let the sun shine in. Get started today with new windows and doors from Window World of Beckley. What better way to do that than our energy-efficient windows and doors for every budget and style? We offer superior products, professionally installed at a guaranteed low price. We offer great financing options too. So why wait? Transfer your home today with Window World of Beckley and let the sun shine in.
We won't raise your rates just because of an accident. Sure, everyone thinks they're a good driver. But when an accident happens, with Allstate, you don't have to worry, even if it's your fault. It's called accident forgiveness, and it starts the day you sign up. You're in good hands with Allstate.
And we welcome you back to Beckley Woodrow Wilson High School with Morgan Brown. I'm Maris Lowry. Heavy hitter Mr. Nick Eskins, producing and directing. Faith Alexander, brains of the outfit on camera. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Michael Frobel for Judge. Michael Frobel is a candidate for the circuit judge in the 2nd division. Michael is proud to support student athletes of Raleigh County and would be proud to serve you as a circuit judge. He's in a runoff on November the 5th in the election. Also, tonight's game brought to you in part by Edward Jones. Edward Jones and Heather Cantley, your financial advisor. She's my financial advisor. She takes care of me. She can take care of you. Plan for your retirement by opening a traditional IRA or a Roth RIA. You can call Heather at 681-254-0097. So the pressure, Morgan, really on George Washington as they fall behind 2-0. And now to win this match, they have to win the next 3 games.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough. We'll see if they can do it. I think they're making some major adjustments. Like I was saying in the last couple games, there's some particular spots that they just haven't had their people where they need to be. And I think if they do that and they anticipate the plays instead of playing catch up, I think that they could possibly make this game a much better one than the second. I thought they were doing really great.
They were
like at the beginning,
up until a
towards
point,
the middle,
and then the train went off the tracks.
Yeah,
for a while,
a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be a long road back to.
Yeah, and if you're Beckley, you're like a shark. You can smell blood in the water.
Right.
You've got them down. You beat them 25-18, and you expect George Washington to come up, and they did for a while. But then Beckley wins the second game by more than they won the first game as they win 25-13. And
which was surprising to us. I mean, I really thought that it was going to be a much tighter game, but Beckley just does what Beckley does. They just were able to get further and further away, point by point, play by play. And let's see if number 17, Miss Abby Dillon, can make that ending happy for Beckley.
So what do we got? We got a point for Beckley right off the bat. Beckley trying to get out the broom and sweep this match.
They said, we're tired. Let's go home.
Well, I was going to say, of course, there will be a JV match that will follow this.
Yep.
We won't broadcast that, but Yeah, so.
If it's anything like these games have been, I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah. So as Beckley scores again. And like I said, you've got to get off to a good start, especially when you're down 2 games within the match.
Yep.
You can't fall too far behind, and Beckley up to a 2-0 lead.
Monday.
Yep, Beckley very good at the net. And that's what makes this Beckley team so good, because they are so good up front at the net. And nice play by George Washington.
Monday. That back corner.
Yeah, she's been a solid player for the Patriots as we watch the replay there. So it'll be serve time for George Washington.
Number 12 is Ava Katz into the net.
Into the net.
Number 12, Coleman, and number 44, that is Miss Skylar Jeffrey checking in for the Beckley Flying Eagles.
Yeah, Jeffrey has really done a good job. Skylar Jeffrey, the senior, good job at serving. Right down the middle. Good job by Reagan Rist to get it over for Beckley. Abby Dillon with a beautiful save.
Oh.
And that's out of bounds to George Washington.
Rist trying to get it to Harris, but just couldn't quite make it there. Accidentally sends it over the net and out of bounds. So that results in George Washington being able to serve now. Number 7.
Arbogast will check back in for George Washington. And she will serve it. Allie Arbogast.
Great server as well. To Harris.
Good hustle by George Washington.
Great hustle.
And that a little too strong.
Harris is all over the place.
Yeah, she is.
I love it. That one was just a little too strong.
One thing, because I cover girls basketball for video productions here in Raleigh County.
I've never noticed.
Imagine that. Well, one of the things that when I was getting ready to say, I'd love to see Harris play basketball for Beckley. I think she would be a dynamic basketball player.
Oh, absolutely. The reason why he's saying that, folks, is because before the game even started, the Beckley girls were out there playing basketball with the volleyball.
Yes.
And it was something to see, let me tell you.
I'll tell you what, there's so many good athletes out here for Beckley. You would think that volleyball could translate into basketball, and if a lot of these girls that would, if they play volleyball, they would play basketball, just would make Beckley a better team for sure, as George Washington knocks it out the point to Beckley. And I'm not sure what we got to discuss. Maybe we're going to wipe up maybe a little perspiration on the court.
It's a big word.
Yeah, perspiration. Now, don't ask me to spell it. I know you're a teacher, so I don't know if you teach spelling. Please don't ask me to spell it.
I teach West Virginia history. I'm not having those kids spell anything.
All right.
That is English teachers' job.
Well, hey, one time, I have to tell you the story about West Virginia history. Many, many years ago, I took it. So I'll get in
the 60s.
Yeah, well, no, not in the 70s. But I got to tell you the story.
Great block by Beckley. To Harris. Just kidding, not Harris.
Yeah, George Washington gets the
Hassan.
point. Anyway, the West Virginia history teacher was getting frustrated with the class. And she said, can any of y'all even spell West Virginia history? And somebody said, yeah, WV.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that was in the 70s. I thought we'd inject a little humor there.
Good tip by Beckley. George Washington with the recover. Miss Abby Dillon sent it up to Hassan.
Yeah, and that's just a little too strong. Yeah. I think they put the point on the wrong side there, and it should be 5-5. Or did they score that point to Beckley?
I guess they gave it to
Beckley. I guess they gave it to Beckley. I beg your pardon. Because I thought it was out of bounds.
I thought it was too. Maybe they called tip while we were talking about West Virginia history.
Yeah. I got to be paying more closer attention to volleyball history, right?
That's right. Wow.
Nice job.
History being made with that shot.
Yeah, nice job that time by Baker. That shot about took her head off. Good hustle by Abby Dillon.
Great hustle by Abby.
At that point and out. So while we got a minute, I want to tell you about United Coal Company. If you want to apply for a job for Infinity Coal Company, you can apply online through the Facebook page at United Coal Company, or you can pick up an application at the Guard Shack located on Independence Road in Sophia, West Virginia. So a much-needed timeout for George Washington here, Morgan. The score is 10-5 Beckley. This is game 3 of the best 3 of 5 in the match. Beckley won game 1, 25-18, and won game 2, 25-13. And right now, after losing the first 2 games and you're down by 5 at this juncture, this is a big juncture in the game, series, and match for George Washington.
Yes, it is. I think they needed that timeout as well, and I think that maybe they might be able to score a few in a row here. They just got to get the ball out of Beckley's hands, out of the freshman's serve. Killer serve
by Bailey. Yeah. Molly Smith at the net again. Molly Smith played really well for Beckley here tonight.
With the hit and the block, causing it to go out of bounds. Beckley with the point.
You know, Beckley's had a lot of girls that has played really well, but like I said, when you got girls like Molly Smith, and then you have Coleman, and you have Harris and Hassan that play so good at the front of the net, that just makes it so tough for the opponent.
Absolutely.
And George Washington has had their moments at the net, but they hit it too hard that time, and Beckley gets a point again.
Yep. I think having such strong intimidation at the net is really important for those teams that like to play at the net, and I think that the teams that are necessarily intimidated by that, they really are heavily intimidated by that. Because there's just such a strong presence that when you go up for that kill, for that block, you're like, they're there.
Right.
They're going to hit it right down. They're going to be right there where I tried to hit it.
George Washington able to get the point there. George Washington, you figure if they've got anything in the tank right here, Morgan's where they got to really come back and try to extend this match. They're down 2-0. Bailey can't handle that one.
George Washington with a little bit of hope here. Great up by Beckley. Good setup. Molly Smith.
Good job.
Ball goes the other way.
Washington.
Great job. Great recovery. For Hassan. Boom!
Yeah. And that's been the difference between these two teams is Beckley's play right at the net.
Mm-hmm. They kind of back George Washington up in a way. If George Washington can do the same thing, I think this game would be a little bit different. But unfortunately, it is not.
Yeah, they've had some struggles as Beckley's opened up now a 7-point lead. Football score 14-7.
All about that football, aren't you, Maris?
Yeah, well, you know what? Somebody asked me, what do I like best? And I like whatever we're doing. So right now, I like volleyball best because that's what we're doing at the time.
That's right. It's just like, what's your record?
Yeah.
The game tonight. I don't care about our previous record.
Well,
I care about the game tonight.
Yeah, Beckley up 15-7. The one thing I know this, I would know this if I were coaching. I don't know. I think they always think about the games you lose rather than maybe so many of the games that you win.
Because those ones you lose are just so stuck in your mind.
Yeah.
Another Beckley point out of bounds by George Washington. Wouldn't be surprised if she didn't call a timeout here.
Yeah. Missy Smith, veteran coach of George Washington, and Beckley won game 1, 25-18, and won game 2, 25-13. And unless George Washington makes a rally, as that one does get over the net. And Beckley, like he did, good at the front of the net again. 17-7 the score in this one. London Baker, I beg your pardon, serves that one.
Harris, boom.
Beckley has scored 6 in a row now to open up this 18-7 lead.
I really do think George Washington has potential.
Oh, I think they're a really good team. I think that Beckley playing very well.
Yep. They've definitely fixed some of the problems that they were having against Morgantown whenever we saw them play at Shady Springs.
That was August 22nd, so a little more than a month ago. And, too, that was Beckley's first game as well. And that's what good teams do, Morgan. They get better as the season, goes on. By the way,
replay here,
I want to give a shout out to head basketball coach at Beckley, Woodrow Wilson, Ron Kidd. I ran to him when I was coming into the building, and he said he had papers to grade. He was going to go home and watch the volleyball. So since he's watching, I was going to give him a little shout out. Ron, we appreciate your attendance and watching on Video Productions. Beckley in control of this one, leading 19-8.
You know who else is watching this game?
Who else is watching?
My mom.
Your mom? Well,
she hasn't been to pickleball. Call her out. Tell her to come to pickleball a little bit more.
I have not met your mom, but so let me give a shout out to Mrs. B.
Yeah, Miss B, Coach B, all the B's.
Yeah, all the B's, Mrs. B. As Beckley takes a 20-8 lead.
Beckley just needs 5 more points.
Morgan, I've always said this. This is my 4th year Video Productions, and they never put the camera on me. But now that you're with me, they ought to start putting the camera on us, right?
That's right.
And George Washington gets the point there. Yeah, people have asked me that. They're like, we just hear your voice. We never get to see. And I said, there's probably a reason for that. And now the gym gets real quiet.
Number 2 on George Washington's team. Got a little bit of an injury, but she seems to be okay.
Yeah, Carpenter.
Strong young lady.
Kayla Carpenter. But, yeah, if they were to put the camera, they would put it on you and not on me, so.
Maybe they would have put it on you in the 60s or 70s when you had the hair.
In the 60s, I was just a kid. 70s the same way.
Trick play, Bob Beckley. That's the one they were practicing in warm-up.
Yep.
That's a state tournament play right there.
Right, and I'll tell you, Morgan, I think you'd agree, Beckley has really imposed their will on George Washington, because it looked like every time that George Washington looked like they were going to make a move or they were going to make this a competitive series, Beckley just able to really put their foot on the gas and excel. And like I said, Beckley won the first game of this match, 25-18. They won the second game, 25-13. They lead 21-9 here. And I think if I look over to the Beckley bench, they might have a broom around as they're ready to sweep up this series.
It was a beautifully executed play. Miscommunication on George Washington's side. Beckley is just 3 points away from having the clean sweep.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of coming off the rails a little bit for George Washington. And George Washington is a really good team, and I think they can learn from this, and I think they will. I think these two teams will see each other again on down the line. As Beckley once again strong at the net with Cole. People wouldn't sit there this time. It was just pulled out. So anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, we're here. Beckley wins the match as they sweep the series. They win the last game 25-9. They win game 1, 25-18. They win game 2, 25-13, and they win the game 3, 25-9. And you were saying that your mom was watching. Yeah. So then about that time is we had the plug pulled on us. So that means if your mom's watching, we got to get equal.
Dad's watching.
We hope so. We hope they're watching together. So to Mr. and Mrs. B, this is Mara saying, hey, and I enjoy working with your daughter, Morgan, and she's done a fabulous job, and we appreciate your attendance on Video Productions. How about that?
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Sorry we got unplugged.
Yeah, sorry we got unplugged. It wasn't Morgan's fault.
It wasn't my fault.
It was not.
But we watched great volleyball tonight. Yeah, we really did.
So, Morgan, before we let you go, your final assessments of what you watched as Beckley sweeps this 3 games to none.
I thought Beckley did an absolute fantastic job covering the floor, anticipating the plays. I just think GW was playing catch-up the entire time. I think if they just kind of fixed some of those holes that they had, that Beckley was able to hit every single time, just back-to-back, one play at a time, I think that both of these teams have state tournament potential. And like you said, we're getting into a little bit more later part of the season, but I think that there are still times for improvement, and I think that both of these teams definitely have potential state tournament play.
So that'll do it for this broadcast. We do have a one more volleyball broadcast coming up before the tournament play, and I'm going to pull that up and tell you when that will be. I think I do have this. I do. It'll be October 8th. And it'll be Beckley, South Charleston, and Shady right here. So that'll be 3 teams, and that should be very entertaining. And then sectional tournament play will start October the 28th. So once again, October 8th here at Beckley. It'll be Beckley, Shady, and South Charleston will be our next one.
Yep, I won't be here.
I know you won't be for that. Somehow we'll have to survive.
Sorry, Post Malone concert's calling my name.
I got you. I understand that. I get it.
It's the anniversary with me and my boyfriend. We
I
got to
get
go
that.
see Post Malone.
Well, you know, when people say Post Malone, the only one I know is Moses Malone or Karl Malone, who played in the NBA back in the day.
In the 70s?
Well, no, and actually, Karl Malone played through the 90s.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
The mailman. That's
sure.
You know what? His nickname was the mailman because he always delivered.
Oh,
and then
good.
Moses Malone, he played in the ABA in the 70s, and he played when the 76ers won the title 41 years ago in '83. So he played in the 70s and in the 80s.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but when people say Post Malone, that's the only Malones I know.
That's the only one that really is around right now.
I got you. All right, well, we're going to wrap this one up for our entire crew here. We appreciate everybody. Andrew Pinnick, the athletic director here at Beckley Woodrow Wilson. For the heavy hitter, Mr. Nick Eskins, who did a great job producing and directing. For Faith Alexander on camera, the brains of the outfit, and for Morgan Brown, I'm Maris Lowry saying good night, everybody.